So for today's video, I wanted to talk to you about an idea I had. And the idea goes as follows. As you know, Zzrot and Bodyguards have a taunt mechanic. And the idea is that, well, if you give Echo a Zzrot or Talon a Bodyguard emblem, or you make a Bodyguard into an assassin, would it be possible to get this Braum or this Renate to ult into the opposite direction? So the idea would be that as a tech, for example, if you're playing at any type of bodyguard comp and you just tech in an assassin, give the assassin bodyguard, would you be able to influence the game in a way that the enemy Braum would ult towards the opposite direction of your team, therefore giving you an advantage? Well, this is something we're going to find out today. First of all, let's start our journey with Zzrot on assassins. Zzrot on assassins definitely used to work in the past, but Riot did change up a lot on these items. So for now we have to establish the baseline. Does Zzrot on assassins at this point even work, and can we taunt enemy frontliners? The Nocturne jumps. Only Quinn gets taunted, not Darius, and Quinn also ignores the Nocturne, even though there was a clear taunt animation. So yeah, it looks like Zzrot won't help us in answering our question if we can taunt enemy frontliners. Next up, let's take a look at the Bodyguard emblem on assassins. Obviously, the Bodyguard trait does have to be active, otherwise you won't get the taunt in the first place. Here we have a Talon, and he will jump into the backline, and I'm just going to pause really quickly. We can see that the Azrael and the Zzrot did get taunted, but unfortunately the Talon, the Gangplank, who was like standing in the middle of the first row, did not get taunted, and as a consequence, it looks like for now that also the Bodyguard does not seem to be working. Well, the problem that we're facing right now is that the taunt from the Bodyguard, it is only a single hex range. And this is a bit of an issue, because that would mean if we wanted to taunt an enemy Braum who's standing in the front line, then Talon would have to land in the third row. This is a pretty rare situation to occur, but we did an example here where the enemy just did a complete block. We put Talon on the side, and this should result in Talon jumping in his tiny hole. And here we can see the taunt on Zillion, Azrael, and also Braum. And Braum ended up turning around. Unfortunately, our Talon died, but you know, it would have worked. This Braum definitely would have ulted in the wrong direction. So it looks like we're making some progress. Okay, let's do a repeat fight. I upgraded this Talon to 2-star. I gave him a Brembo vest. Hopefully this time he will be a little bit more tanky and survive until the Braum ults. He jumps into the third row right next to the main Braum, but that guy just straight up ignores him. The other Braum ended up going towards him, but yeah, from the looks of things, this seems to be quite inconsistent. Well, we did learn that Bodyguard and Assassins will be able to taunt enemy units that are within 1 hex range where the Assassins land, but I think we should probably give up on this idea. It doesn't seem to be working. So this brings me to a new idea. What if we give Kha'Zix a Bodyguard emblem and a bunch of mana items? And the idea here is to screw with the enemy pathing. We get the Kha'Zix to taunt the enemy backliners, and then when he jumps all the way across the map, maybe the enemy backliners will end up chasing him because, you know, they got taunted by the Kha'Zix, and therefore they might misposition themselves. So here we have the Kha'Zix jumping into the enemy backline. He will jump, and nope. Pretty much the Lulu ended up only being able to attack him, and then immediately went to the Leona when nobody was in range. It does not look like this is working, but let's try to slow down the setup a little bit with less mana. Okay, so in this setup, Kha'Zix has a little bit less mana, which means he will stay in the enemy backline just a little bit longer. Hopefully, this time the enemy backline will get taunted. Kha'Zix jumps in. Both Lulu and Senna get taunted. Kha'Zix jumps to the other side. And we can see Lulu moving out, but honestly, she's only moving out because, you know, she has to walk to get into range of Leona. It looks like there's not really a lot to get out of here either. Unfortunately, it looks like our journey here comes to an end. Sometimes when you look for certain bugs and mechanics, you sadly get confronted with the reality that everything is working as intended, but I figured it would still be fun to showcase a little bit the thought process behind some of my videos. We did still learn a few things in this video, for example that Zzrot on Assassins doesn't seem to be working properly, or that the Bodyguard on Assassins is able to taunt some of the backliners as long as they're within 1 hex range of where the Assassin landed. That was everything for me. I hope you learned something, and see you the next time.